Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome to another session of our Day One and Beyond series, where we take you through various topics and activities related to building out on Oracle Cloud. Our today's session is the Enterprise Manager tips and tricks to pivot workloads to the cloud. So in this session, we'll cover how Enterprise Manager can serve as a single management tool for both on-prem and hybrid cloud environments, providing management and automation across Exadata, OCI, and other public clouds, along with on-prem resources. We do have our webinar series here, but we also do have some other series like our hands-on series, Cloud Native, Cloud Security, and Did You Know? So please feel free to explore those series as well. I'd like to introduce Martin, Rajendra, and Romit as the main presenters. And with that, I'll hand it over to Martin to get us started.
Great. Thanks, Olivia, for that introduction, and welcome everyone to today's session, Day One and Beyond. As Olivia mentioned, we're going to be talking today about some tips and tricks from Enterprise Manager to help you pivot your workloads to the cloud. Just again, in terms of introductions, my name is Martin Pena. I'm a senior director here in Redwood Shores office of Oracle in California. And then also joining me are Rajendra Patil and Ramit Achara. So we've got two of our experts in this area talking through some of the features and processes that we'll be going through today. So just briefly, I just wanted to go over what our agenda is for this session. So we'll be talking about how you can migrate mission-critical databases to the cloud. We'll go through various use cases, such as automating security and compliance, both on your on-premise and cloud resources. We'll talk about how you can implement multi-tenant databases across hybrid environments. Also, how to automate database management using Ansible and pluggable database as a service. And finally, talk about how you can enforce configuration standardization and monitor configuration drift of both your cloud and on-premise assets. So before we begin, I just want to provide a brief introduction in terms of our Enterprise Manager and cloud management strategy. And as you've probably seen and heard, although Enterprise Manager has been a product associated with the Oracle database and other products for many, many years, we've also introduced new management cloud services. And what this does is provides two main pillars for customers to choose in terms of looking for on-premise solution or for cloud service solutions. And both of these solutions complement each other, so you don't need to choose one or the other, but basically can move between the two very easily. So Enterprise Manager has been our on-premise flagship tool for many years. It provides deep management into the complete Oracle stack, especially into the database, but also into the infrastructure and other Oracle products. It provides both hybrid and multi-cloud support and provides enhanced ops automation. So basically automates many of the typical tools that you'll do on a day-to-day basis and really freeing up and optimizing resources. On the other side, we have our management cloud services. So these are new cloud services for APM, log analytics, database management, and stack monitoring. And really, these are designed to provide the same type of management capabilities, but for our cloud services. So these provide heterogeneous stack and language support across these assets, again, provide support for both hybrid and multi-cloud support, and have some very deep tools that provide telemetry integration with Enterprise Manager to basically share the information between these two areas. So I did want to point out really that the point of this seminar today is to talk about how customers, even though they may have different strategies and different maturity in terms of moving to the cloud, that by taking advantage of Enterprise Manager, which you may be familiar with, we're providing a very easy point for you to step off and become comfortable with the cloud services, so you can actually start managing your cloud or hybrid cloud capabilities from Enterprise Manager itself, and when appropriate, move into the cloud services that are appropriate for those assets. And with that, I just wanted to sort of summarize to talk about some of the common business challenges that we see talking to customers. And I think if we were to summarize these into three categories, they would really be based in terms of these three here, in terms of, first of all, customers are very much interested in lowering costs. So how can your management tools help you simplify and automate IT operations, lower your capital expense, the hardware that you buy, and also the operating expense in terms of the processes involved in maintaining those? So we see lowering costs as a big driver. Another driver is how can you reduce risk? So when you're implementing changes into your environment or dealing with security issues, how can you really minimize and mitigate those risks involved? So that involves things like making sure your databases are at the most current patch, especially in terms of security. Also making sure you have standardized configurations so that you are applying best practices to your management and not just building each database individually, uniquely. Standardization really provides for better automation. And also, how can you audit for compliance to really see how well your systems are conforming to your standards out there? And then the last area that we see people looking for is how can they enable hybrid cloud? So really, as customers make this migration, make this journey to the cloud, many of our customers are choosing to pivot and step slowly, perhaps choosing to implement hybrid cloud as the first step. And we see basically the possibility to provide better efficiency and faster innovation pace by going this hybrid cloud route. So if we go to the next slide, we can summarize how Enterprise Manager really can address these. And so you see here that Enterprise Manager can basically monitor and manage your hybrid fleet. So from Enterprise Manager itself, you have a single pane of glass that can look at both your on-premise and cloud assets. We also provide deep support for OCI database resources. So whether that's Autonomous Database, xCloud service, or xCloud customer, we're able to manage all of those from within Enterprise Manager itself. We can do a self-service deployment of databases across these different assets. We can simplify data movement using our database migration workbench, which we'll talk about in depth here a little bit. And basically, we have this Enterprise Manager Cloud Bridge, which provides the movement of telemetry across these different platforms. So really, Enterprise Manager is a great tool to help you move at whatever pace is appropriate for your organization to the cloud, managing both your on-premise and your cloud assets. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rajendra. But Rajendra, I wanted to find out a little bit about what we see some of the major reasons why customers are migrating to the cloud. So I think you have some information based on working with customers that we'd like to share here.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Martin. So let us see how we can consolidate the databases using Migration Workbench to hybrid cloud environment with consistent user experience for all of the migrations. There are three common business objectives to migrate your databases. And these are, most of the customers are talking about these three business objectives. First objective is lift and shift your workload to Oracle Cloud. You may want to modernize your systems by moving all your application and databases workload to Oracle Cloud, or maybe you're lifting and shifting of your application and databases to new commodity hardware, or maybe you want to move all your non-CDB databases to PDB as a part of consolidation effort which you want to plan. Second objective is modernize your application by replatforming. Assume you would like to replatform or upgrade to new infrastructure like Exadata, which will bring operational efficiency as well as it will reduce the cost for your customers, and you can bring additional security and compliance benefits. As part of this platform, you may want to again migrate from Solaris, HP UX or AIX to Linux-based platform. And third objective is bring innovation in your day-to-day operations to improve the customer experience or reduce the cost. In this, you may want to consider migrating to multi-tenant, or maybe you want to migrate to maximum availability architecture. Maybe you want to enable some security features like single sign-on or transparent data encryption or any other. Further, you may want to implement some kind of innovative solutions which are available in Exadata Cloud or Exadata Cloud Services. Examples are EBS, memory-based planner, which is available in Excel platforms, maybe snap clone to create a test masters to reduce your storage cost and your cloning time, which is required from the business point of view. Now let me talk about the benefits and feature of Migration Workbench. Workbench offers a rich set of features that gives you a tangible benefit for yourself as a DBA and your business when you're using Workbench. It simplifies physical and logical migrations of your on-premises or Oracle Cloud databases with unified workflow for single or fleet of databases. It does dependency analysis and compatibility check during the pre-migration readiness analysis. It expedites the migration process by automating end-to-end workflow using REST API. It provides you a real-time progress tracking of your migrations. It improves the accuracy of migration by providing an automatic performance comparison of before and after migration workload. And we are using SQL Performance Analyzer, which is a part of real application testing suite to carry out this activity. Migration Workbench provides highest level of security using Kerberos user authentication and transparent data encryption. We are also offering near zero downtime with zero data loss migration. So this is the workflow which we execute as a part of Migration Workbench. Workbench has 3 phases: plan, migrate, and analyze, as you see in the picture. You can initiate a new migration activity by selecting a source database and destination database. Source database could be 11G till 19C, non-CDB database, PDB, RAC, single instance databases running on Solaris, Windows, AIX, or Linux platform. Similarly, destination database could be 19C till 23C, RAC, single instance databases running on XRCC, XRCS, or autonomous database, or maybe OCI-based database services, or it could be on on-premise environments as well. You can do pre-migration readiness check of a source database to know if your source database is ready for migration. Optionally, you can do the customizations of your migration activity with custom scripts running before pre-backup, post-backup, or post-migration stage. So these are the customization we are offering. You can schedule or submit the migration based on your requirement. At any point of time, you can track the real-time status of your migration job using deployment procedures. Once migration is over, you can do migration analysis using view analysis option, which you're offering to get the details on number of objects migrated or any errors received during the migrations. Workbench also offers to carry out a pre and post migration performance comparison, and it gives a detailed analysis on SQLs which are improved or SQLs which are deteriorated after migration. And we also give you recommendations to tune those SQLs. To carry out this analysis, we are using Real Application Testing License Pack, and specifically product we are using is SQL Performance Analyzer. Once business confirm that migrated data is correct and system is performing as per the agreed performance benchmarks, your DBA can then mark this migration completed, and later if you want to clean up things, you can clean up the job. Now let us talk about consolidation. Whether you are looking for consolidations to multi-tenant or migrate to a brand new Exadata platform, it can be a traditional on-premises or it can be Exadata cloud service. You are planning to migrate maybe to OCI-based database service. Migration Workbench offers you a solution that will help you in this journey. With pre-migration readiness check, you can see the source database is ready for migration. Then once migration is ready, you can do migration analysis to understand whether you see any errors in the migrated jobs, or do you have all objects are migrated, or you have seen any errors during the migrations. We also offer you pre and post migration analysis using post migration analysis. Once you do the analysis, then we can do pre and post migration performance comparison. And this gives you analysis of your source versus destination database performance comparison. And if there are any SQLs which are regressed, we will give recommendations to tune those SQLs. Here in this graph, you can see there are severity-wise recommendations we are given, and your DBA need to validate each and every category. And there are recommendations for each category, how to fix these specific use cases or cases which you see in the slide. This will help you to consolidate your assets into higher performing infrastructure, and it will reduce your CapEx. And since this is one tool for migrating to multiple destinations, your OpEx is also lowered because you don't need to learn multiple solutions, you don't need to learn new skills, and you don't have to switch the context every time. Now let me show a demo of Migration Workbench. So this is Enterprise Manager login screen. You log into Enterprise Manager. To invoke Workbench, you can go to Enterprise Migration Consolidation menu, and here you can invoke the Database Migration Workbench. This is the consolidation. This is the activity page of Migration Workbench. Using this activity page, DBA can track each of the migration which is going on or which is already completed or anything in error status. You can start new migration activity using this create migration activity option. You have options to use full backup, schema level migrations, or you can do table space level migration. We are supporting data pump as well as transportable table space migration using ARM and TTS migration method. Select the source database which you want to migrate. You can use non-CDB database, or you can create new pluggable database, or you can use existing pluggable database. So let me select new pluggable database. You can create new pluggable database. So we are creating sales DB_19C as a new pluggable database here. These solutions will select appropriate optimized migration method based on your source and destination database selection. If you are looking for multi-phase migrations, specifically you want to create initial full backup and later incremental backups you want to take, and you want to reduce your overall downtime, then you can go for create backup option here, or you can use complete migration option where you will take full backup, ship that data to your destination server, and then recover that database. So this is the complete migration option. We are offering you a comparison of your source and destination database. There are two ways you can do comparison using AWR report, and you can use existing SQL tuning set. So any of this you can use it for comparison of your source and destination database after migration. If you would like to do customizations, here you can select the pre-post custom script and you can execute during the migration process. You can review the inputs you have provided for source and destination database as well as the migration actions we have provided. Now, next step is comparison of your sales DB, which is a source database. So you want to see whether your sales DB is ready for migration. So I can click on check migration readiness. So this will open up new window. Here you can see the migration readiness report. Here you can see the summary, whether this database can be migrated or you have some issues. So you will see severity-wise results in failed, action required, review required, or review suggested, or any pass categories. Your DB need to take action on these categories. We are giving recommendations to fix specific categories, and based on that recommendations, DB need to fix the issue and then start the migration. Another option here is validation. So we are validating the inputs you have provided, specifically logins, the storage, and anything on your credentials. All that validations we are checking during runtime as well as the before starting the migrations. You can submit the migration either immediately or you can schedule it for later time. If you are looking for REST API based migrations, then you can use this pre-filled JSON file and run it from any third-party orchestration tool. You can use this REST API JSON file and modify specific inputs specifically on database names and credentials, and you can run fleet level migrations as well. Once you submit the migration, you can see in the activity page, new migration job has started. You can view the procedure of this migration job. You can see the logs of each stage and troubleshoot if there is a need. You can take multiple incremental backups using update backup option, or you can do a complete migration option if you want to do the final migration job. Now you can see I have already submitted incremental backup and final migration job is also completed here. Now the next step here is to do the view analysis. So as soon as I do view analysis, I can see the validation which we have carried out here, the pre-migration analysis check which we did before starting the migration for a source database, and the post-migration analysis of your source database compared to destination database, and it will give you details on which are the objects which has issue and how to fix these specific use cases or specific criteria here. Your DB need to address these use cases, specific criteria, and then you can go for next phase, which is a comparison of your source and destination database from performance point of view. So we are giving you SQL performance analysis report. This report gives you analysis of your source versus migrated database. We will give you a number of SQLs which we analyzed. Then it will give you overall improvement or deterioration of your jobs. Here we can see 60% improvement in your migrated database. You can see regress SQLs. You can also see there are SQLs which are regressed or improved. You can see there are SQLs which has plan change or same plan. If there are any errors, you can see it here. We are also giving you recommendations to tune those SQLs for regress SQL. So here you can see what is the finding for this regress SQL. Based on that, your DB need to take action and then take this migration further. Once the migration job is completed, your business is confirmed, the performance of job is, application is correct, you can mark the migration completed. Let me invite Romit to talk about security compliance and audit for both on-premise as well as cloud resources.
Thanks, Raj. Thanks, Raj. Moving on, let's see how we can automate security compliance and audit both on-premise and our cloud resources. Based on breaches we have seen in industry, customers look at 4 key macro areas to secure their environment. First is patch to secure and encrypt to protect, which is patches that are available but not applied and encryption is not used. We have seen 24% breaches in this area. Second, standardize on configurations to reduce sprawl and vulnerabilities. 45% of breaches are due to misconfiguration. Risk management and auditing for compliance makes the third part. And lastly, we have strict management of elevated privileges with strong credentials. Over here, we have seen 50% or more breaches are due to weak credentials. Next slide. Fleet maintenance is a solution in DBLM that gives you the ability to patch databases wherever they are. Databases can be residing in traditional data center, Exadata Cloud at customer, Exadata Cloud Service, or in clouds like AWS and others. With fleet maintenance, you get automated insight into vulnerabilities and precise patch recommendations for databases of various configurations like DataGuard or TDE enabled databases. Key benefits for you to use this solution is fleet level end-to-end automated patching operation and one management tool to automate IT operations with the same user experience using user interface or API or command line. We now have a brand new feature called Fleet Maintenance Hub. Fleet Maintenance Hub is a powerful one-stop place for customers to get insight into vulnerabilities for database assets. Apply patches to affected targets and secure each of those. Hub is a single pane of glass view for security patch recommendations, vulnerabilities assessment, and patch operations. There are three powerful solutions in this dashboard. Let me walk you through each of them. Tailwind gives you insight about targets that are not subscribed to any of the images and thus are vulnerable as they can't participate in any patching cycle. Tail 2 is all about health of your images. If, due to any new recommendations, image needs any modifications or update, it will be shown as recommendations required. You can then review the patch recommendations and refresh the image. Tile 3 is all about compliance of your targets with respect to the recommendations. For any patching or upgrade cycle, you should use Tile 2 and 3 in conjunction. Hub automates all the manual work. With few clicks, you can have recommendations, updated images, and you can patch your databases or grid. So this is a one-stop place giving you a single pane of glass view for security patch recommendations, insight into vulnerabilities, and workflow to apply those patches to keep your assets secure.
Ramit, one quick question. If customer has few databases running on AWS cloud and he want to use Fleet Maintenance Hub to identify patches and apply them, can we use Fleet Maintenance Hub here?
Absolutely. All we need is EM to see those targets. As long as EM can see those targets, that is, you have registered those targets in EM, we can patch them. So that's all what we need.
Okay.
So coming back to Fleet Maintenance Hub, you as an administrator will get one-stop place for insight into vulnerabilities and workflow to refresh and apply the patches, giving you tangible savings in your day-to-day operational activities, eliminating any potential human error, and most importantly, keeping your patch levels compliant with your policies. There are three simple steps involved in fleet maintenance. One, you scan your estate and create or refresh cold image. Second, you deploy the image as a new Oracle home. And last, you migrate the targets associated with the image to the new Oracle home. Privilege access management is a new offering that we have integrated with Enterprise Manager. PAM solution helps organizations to eliminate hard-coded credentials and allow highly sensitive passwords to be centrally stored, logged, and managed within the vault. PAM integration with Enterprise Manager is a simplified credentials framework that allows PAM solutions such as CyberArk, HashiCorp, or others to seamlessly integrate with Enterprise Manager to securely fetch the credentials for PAM store. PAM integration with Enterprise Manager allows users to either create a new named credential or modify an existing named credential and specify that the credentials are stored in external PAM storage, and reduce the administrator overhead in updating the named credentials whenever the password is rotated by PAM. This efficiency reduces the operational complexity and boosts the overall productivity.
Ramit, one more question. How customer can integrate Enterprise Manager and PAM solution? Let's say customer has CyberArk. So how we can integrate Enterprise Manager and this CyberArk PAM solution?
So for this integration, they just need to have one integration script, which will have the specific accounts that they want to be mapped with the PAM storage. And for that, we have also created some sample scripts and they are available in the MOS. So they can go to MOS, download the script and modify it according to their need and their environment. That's all they need.
Okay, so they don't have to get into all the technical details about Enterprise Manager and how the PAM solution supports. It is only script which you need to deal with.
Yeah, they only need to know which accounts they want to ensure that they are taken care by a PAM. And once they have identified those accounts with the help of the script, they will map the storage of those accounts from Enterprise Manager to the PAM storage. So once the credentials are transferred to the PAM, all they need is this integration script that can fetch the passwords over a secure connection.
Great.
So this is the login page for Enterprise Manager. We log into Enterprise Manager. And then from targets, we move to databases. From databases page, we have administration, and then we move to Fleet Maintenance Hub. So this demo is all about Fleet Maintenance Hub, and we'll be seeing how we can use the automated patch recommendations to update our images and use the updated images to patch our databases. As I was talking about in my earlier slide, Fleet Maintenance Hub is a 3-tile based solution. Tile 1 is targets now subscribe. Over here, we can see that there are n number of databases and grid infrastructure which are not registered with any of the images. Because these are not registered with any of the images, they cannot participate in any patching or upgrade activities. Hence, they are highly vulnerable. As a DBA, my main aim is that I need to ensure that the least number of databases or grid within my state are mentioned over here. Ideally, the number should be 0. But as and when we provision new databases and grids for the project, it becomes really difficult for a DBA to manually keep a track of it. So hence, we have this style. You just need to come to Hub, and over here you can see how many of your targets are vulnerable. Tile 2 is all about the health of your images. Over here, I can see that I've got one image which is healthy, but I have got 5 images which has got some recommendations. For this demo, let's concentrate on the first image, which is 19C generic. I can see I've got 2 patch recommendations. If I click on 2, a new slide out will appear, and it will tell me what are the patch recommendations for this image. Over here, I can see I've got the patch recommendations of 19.20. That is one database release, and the another one is OJVM release. Going back to Hub. The next logical step for me is to ensure that I can update this image. So in order to do that, I'll be going to actions, and then I'll be creating a new version. Over here, I need to select the source, which will be the Oracle Home. I've selected the Oracle Home, and I've selected the recommended patches. Over here, I've done a check mark to include patches. I've selected the 2 patches, and I'll be cloning the Oracle Home, and I'll be patching the home with the 2 patch recommendations that we have seen in the previous page. This is the new cloned Oracle Home path. And once I have created the image, I'll simply delete the home that will be laid out on the OS so that I gain on the space. Here are the credentials. Again, these are the credentials that can be mapped with the PAM storage. So for example, the normal host credentials and privileged host credentials, if I know the credential names, instead of having these passwords stored within EM, I can map them to a PAM storage. Moving to next. Here I can see those 2 patch recommendations, the database and OJVM are here. One of the requirement for Fleet Maintenance Hub is that these patches, they need to be downloaded in software library. In this case, we can see that only one patch, which is the database RU, is available in software library, but the other is not. So what we can do is we can simply go to the patches section. We can click on upload. For this demo, I have already downloaded the OJVM patch, which I've selected over here. I'm uploading it. And here I can see the patch has been uploaded. I'll go back to the page. I've refreshed it, and I can see that this image, this patch is available in software library. So the 2 patch recommendations are there. Additionally, if I want to add any custom patches or any other patches of my need, I can simply click on add custom patches, and I can upload those patches over here. Again, the requirement is these patches should be available in the software library. If not, just go to the previous flow that I have just shown, and with that, we can have those patches available in the software library. So I click on next. This is just the review screen. We do provide you the JSON files as well, in case you want to feed these JSON files to third-party orchestration tools for your automation. You can do that. Here is the sample, and I've submitted the process to create the cold image. Let's see the deployment procedure. Here are the 4 steps that it did. It first deployed the Oracle Home at the location that we had given. It patched the Oracle Home with the 2 recommended patches. Once the Oracle Home was patched, it created the cold image. And since I had selected the option to remove the cloned Oracle Home, it went ahead and cleaned the Oracle Home. Going back to Hub. Now, if you remember earlier, I had a red icon over here, but now I see a yellow icon. At every step, we let you know what are the next possible steps for you. So over here, if you click on it, you see that there is a tooltip which says that you do have a new version created, but it's not it's not current. So we need to mark it as current. So you go to actions, you click on make image version as current. Here is the latest version that we created, but it's in a draft state. So I'll change it to current. One important point to notice, in a gold image, we can have multiple versions, but only the version with status as current will be used to deploy the Oracle Home. So in this case, any deployment that I'll do based on this Oracle, this gold image, it will be now 19.20. Earlier, like in the previous screen, it was 19.17. So since I have refreshed this image, I need to ensure that my new version is also at the status of current. So coming back, I do have this gold image, which is all fine, now up to date, but there are no targets which are subscribed to this image. So the next logical step for me is to go back to the targets not subscribed and subscribe one of the targets over here. So over here, I'm back to my tile 1 page. I'll simply click on subscribe. I've selected the generic image, which I have just refreshed, and I've selected one of the databases. Over here, I can select n number of databases. There is no restriction of any limit. If you want to subscribe 10 databases or 100 databases, all you need to do is simply select all of them and just click on subscribe. For the sake of this demo, I am selecting only finance database. So with the subscription done, I'm again back to the second tile, and I can see that there is one target subscribed. For a DBA, it is important to review the target compliance. I need to ensure that the target compliance is all green. It shouldn't be a mixture of green and red. So this graph suggests that the target that has been associated with this image is not compliant. So next action for me is to either update or upgrade based upon the version of this database. So I click on actions, update and upgrade. Here, I can see the finance database that I had subscribed to this gold image, the generic one. Currently, finance database is at 19.17. So after the patching is complete, it will be at the version of 19.20, because those were the two patch, as we have seen the two under the patch recommendations, which we use to refresh the gold image. We provide an out-of-place patching solution. Hence, we need to have a new destination for Oracle Home, which we have provided here. Again, under credentials, we can map these credentials to the PAM. This is the review screen. Again, you have the JSONs in case you want to use it for your third-party orchestrations. I'm giving the name for this operation as finance or patching. So I'll see 3 deployment procedures, one for the Oracle Home deployment, another for listen migration, and the another one for updating the database. So I'll click on monitor progress. These are the 3 deployment procedures: deploy, migrate, and update. So deployment got over under 15.5 minutes. Likewise for listen migration, and similarly for the update databases. So all these 3 deployment procedures completed successfully. Coming back to Hub, now I see that the target compliance is all green, and that's what, as I was mentioning earlier, a DBA should aim for. With the third tile, that was for patch compliance with images. I can see the target database, which is finance, is completely is all compliant with my gold image. Now we can have an option, or we can have a situation where instead of refreshing the gold image, I need to create a new gold image altogether. Like if you have a 12C database and if you want to upgrade it to a 19C, then you cannot have a 12C gold image with a new version of 19C. You need to have a new image. So again, you come to tile 2, you click on create image, and the screens and the other options remain the same. You simply need to go ahead and select the Oracle Home, and that's what. Now let's look at multi-tenant databases. As mentioned earlier, fleet maintenance support your container databases and pluggable databases as well. So there are instances where you want to have a better control of patching or upgrading your pluggable databases. You may have the need to patch just one PDB, or you may have the need to upgrade and move a PDB to another CDB. Fleet maintenance gives you the capability where you can choose the specific PDB and patch it independently by relocating it to a new CDB running from a patched Oracle Home.
Our next topic is automate database management using Ansible and pluggable database as a service. Enterprise Manager Database as a Service is a private cloud platform for providing a database as a cloud service offering over the consolidated resources. Database as a service brings agility and exponentially reduce the human efforts involved in database provisioning. This reduces time and manual efforts on errors involved in commissioning and decommissioning the DB services. By deploying pluggable database as a service, you can now enable DevOps use cases. There is a self-service user which can leverage templates based on the standardized and secure configuration in the service catalog to provision or clone the new databases on Exadata as well as Exadata Cloud Service. This is service catalog. You can standardize the service offerings by creating templates of different types of databases. You can see here multiple databases we have considered, 19CPDB, then we have 19CCDB and all these types of databases. These rich templates will be part of your service catalog for self-service users to provision on-demand databases. With this, you are ensuring you are standardizing on configurations and deploying all in this little time. Also, you are reducing the management overheads as well. Let me shift to configuration standardization and monitoring the configuration drifts. Too many configurations of same product in your environment create configuration collision scenarios. Fleet maintenance software has advisory called Software Standardization Advisor. This advisor scans the database configurations across all the targets and generate an on-demand report of existing environment. Advisor provides recommendations to minimize the configurations. You will be able to see several unique configurations such as platform, version, database types, patches, etc., and list the Oracle homes and databases of each configuration. It also provides recommendations to minimize these configurations. Oracle recommend that administrator or DBA should run this report every quarter to understand the state of their database configurations. The example which we are showing here is from one of our large customer database estate. We found they had nearly 300 distinct configurations, whereas when we checked with DBAs were really intent to have less than 10 configurations in their ecosystem. Let us talk about misconfigurations. That is one of the major preferred ways for bad actors to take over sensitive customer data. Security configuration management features enable you to continuously track any configuration deviations from the baseline defined by your security policies. Besides tracking deviations, configuration management enables you to standardize on number of configuration in your data center so that it enhances your security postures and also reduce the maintenance. With the drift management, you can continuously monitor and ensure all your targets are compliant with your baseline. You can collect your own customized configurations by leveraging custom configuration extensions and deploy it on your targets. Out-of-the-box security baselines will enable you to continuously monitor the configurations to determine your security posture and gives you a flexibility in customizing to align with your policies. Configuration comparison enables in standardizing by limiting number of configuration in your data center. Key benefits of security configuration management, such as it enables you to enhance your overall security posture. It standardizes on configurations. You will get a report which will help your auditors for compliance with your policies. Whenever there is a deviation, you can see the recommendations and workflow to remediate. You can automate remediations and thus you can reduce the overall your operation time and minimize the maintenance window. Configuration comparison drift. You can have large scale configuration comparison of your similar target types to ensure configuration is same as the reference. Configuration could be database installation parameters, host configurations, rack databases, engineered system consistency checks. Once you define the comparison, any changes in this configuration automatically start recomparison. And the setup will send notification for any changes in these configurations. This comparison allows you to track differences against the baseline, ignore certain attributes during the comparison. You can define the comparison template to disregard unnecessary attributes. You can notify key personals when there is a change. You need to safeguard your customer data, as everybody aware, with the security controls that restrict access according to your policies. And these policies could be completely defined by your security officer or using either industry security controls. You need to secure your Oracle databases as well as underlying critical infrastructure as well. By securing the entire stack, you can get a unified view of overall security compliance of your targets managed by Enterprise Manager. There are broad set of out-of-box standards provided by Enterprise Manager. For databases, there are standards like CIS benchmark, DISA, STIG, and Oracle has its own security best practices. For Linux host, there are standards like PCI DSS, HIPAA, and STIG. You can also import any XCCDF based standards for your host which are running into or monitored into Enterprise Manager. And for Exadata Inner Systems, there are out-of-box standards for on-premise Exadata as well as the Exadata Cloud Service. Leveraging these out-of-the-box controls, you will be able to secure your infrastructure stack and enhance your overall security posture. You will get report for your internal as well as external auditors. You can automate these remediations for any violations, which is normally taken care by DBA manually, which will help you in reducing your overall OpEx cost as well. Here are some quotes from our customers. AT&T leveraged many capabilities of Enterprise Manager to manage 16,000 plus databases. Dell is another customer, uses Enterprise Manager to monitor and patch their entire fleet of databases. We have another customer, CTDI, has 100 plus mission critical databases with global presence, and they are using Enterprise Manager for monitoring and management of critical databases assets. Let me summarize. Enterprise Manager is your one management tool for hybrid cloud, multi-cloud environment, where your database could be in traditional data center, be it on commodity hardware, be it on Exadata cloud service or Exadata cloud at customer, or be it in any public cloud entities, whether it is AWS or any other public clouds. As a result of one management tool model, your team gets a consistent user experience, no need of new skills for managing these databases, whether it is on-premise XSCC or XSCS environments. One playbook as compared to multiple to secure your assets and compliant with the audit policies, and agility and faster time to market by deploying hybrid pluggable database as a service or database as a service. These are the three goals that many customers are using it as a framework for their modernization. Here are some resources available for you to learn more about these solutions that we spoke about. Thanks for your time.
But awesome session. Thank you, Martin, Rajendra, and Ramit. Really appreciate your time and help with this session. I hope it was a good learning experience for everyone. So our next session will be Oracle Cloud Financial Operations on March 5th at 10 a.m. Pacific. This session will cover the fundamentals of operating workloads on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and how to start your account off correctly with best practices. We'll go over the OCI tools used to keep track of cloud resources and consumption costs. So we hope to see you all there. And then thanks everyone for joining.